and welcome to the Nexus. At the moment, going forward, I don't know what I'm going to name this video yet. I don't really have sort of idea. I'll come up with some sort of name, but the premise of it is basically, do we think that the Star Trek memorabilia side or collectible side, this sort of stuff, dead? The reason I say that is because next year, 2020 is going to be, in terms of TV, is going to be huge. The biggest Star Trek thing ever to happen to Trek ever, I do believe. We're going to have the new Picard series, Lower Decks, Season 3 of Star Trek Discovery. Yet we seem to be getting less collectibles, as well as collectibles and figures and stuff like that. We're also getting priced out of the market. So I just want to do this video to sort of highlight and just sort of talk about why I think that the merchandise side for Star Trek is dead. It's over. And for me, that is a massive shame. And I'm really ashamed that companies aren't pushing more products up for next year, considering how big it's going to be for Trek. So let's get started. So Eaglemoss. So the Eaglemoss ship's just here. We know the Discovery ones are still going, but I always wondered how popular they were among all Trekkies, because even though I collected some, I've got some just here and some up there, I haven't collected them all, and I haven't subscribed. These are all just picked up from their website. We know that they are continuing, but I've got the special there, Star Trek. Now that has been cancelled. Obviously, that concludes. I don't know if it's cancelled or concludes at issue 180, which is next year, May time. They are replacing that with Star Trek Starships Online. Now, I know there's a few people that I know that collect the Star Trek Starship Collection. There's about 5 of us that collect it that I know. And only 2 people are interested in collecting the online Star Trek ships. This is because 2 of them don't play Star Trek Online. One does play Star Trek Online but isn't interested in the ships. Myself, I don't really know. It depends what ones they do. And my other friend, he said he's definitely going to be picking it up. So that just shows you. Anyway, that is coming up next year. The Star Trek busts. Now, I don't know if you can make that out. That's Wolf just there. I won that in a competition. They have been cancelled as well. So as... I don't know if you can make out there, but there is a Star Trek novels there. So the Star Trek graphic novels have also been cancelled by Eaglemoss. They've also said that they will be producing Star Trek Lower Decks ships and Star Trek Picard ships, but they won't probably appear until very, very late 2020, or probably more likely in 2021. So that is what it is. That's the sign of the Eaglemoss sign. So even though we are going to get some specials and stuff like that, there seems to be a less of a push for the Star Trek ships next year. There might be some exciting stuff to come out, but for me it just seems less of a push from Eaglemoss, considering the Star Trek Starship lines go in, the busts have gone, and the graphic novels have also gone. There was talk of them doing a Star Trek figurine collection, but I'm not too sure. And if it does come out, it won't be next year. So the only things we've got next year are some specials and the continuation of the Discovery line. But I'm not too sure how long that can continue going, considering what ships are coming out and stuff like that. So that's from Eaglemoss. So we are going from the Star Trek busts, graphic novels, Star Trek Starship Collection, to just the Discovery one. I know there's the Star Trek Online ships coming out. I know that. And I know that this is ending, but I'm not too sure how popular the Star Trek Online ships will be. They will not be as popular as the Star Trek Starships were. So also this year, I just want to get onto some figures now. So collectible figures. So I got some Transformers up there. I'm a massive Transformer fan. As you can see there on my tattoo, I'm a massive Transformer fan. And they're pushing out some really good ones at the moment, especially with the Studio series. Now, Star Trek, they brought out, I do believe, 4 figures last year, or this year, 2019, which was the Diamond Select ones, which were, I do believe they did a Spock and Kirk from the Star Trek movies, and then they also did Picard and Kirk from the TOS. They have been cancelled. There is no schedule or no plans to bring out any more of those figures next year. That's it. Now, there was talk of them doing the Enterprise C from Diamond Select and the Reliant, though I have to point out that the USS Reliant that they've gone on about have been in the pipework for about 3 or 4 years now, and it still hasn't come out. We did see the Enterprise C, but I'm very sceptical whether that will actually get released next year or not. So going forward into 2020, no Diamond Select action figures will be produced. If they do, they'll probably only be re-releases, so there'll be no new ones, and there'll be no I wouldn't have thought there'll be any Diamond Select ships next year, even though we did showcase the Enterprise C, and obviously there's always talk about the Reliant as well. We've seen some, and I don't really know what's going on with that, but I don't see them coming out in 2020. Once again, there is nothing for the Picard series, nothing for Discovery, and nothing for Star Trek Lower Decks, which are all coming out next year. I'm going to talk about now, just up the very, very top there. You can just see the top of him. I'm just going to move the camera. I'm just going to adjust it so I can move it up a little bit. Now, as you can see, there's Picard there from Quantum Mechanics or QMX. They also did the TOS figures. Well, that's also been cancelled as well. So I have seen prototypes for Geordi, Riker, Worf, and Data. Yep, they're not coming out. The QMX line, 1/6 line, has been cancelled. So there's nothing next year coming out from them at all. I'm really, really disappointed because I really wanted the next gen collection, but they're just not bringing it out. They were planning on bringing out all the TOS characters. They've only got Lahura left, but they're not bringing her out. They are doing a re-release, I do believe, of Kirk and Spock, but that is it. That is the last that we will get 1/6 scale wise from Quantum Mechanics. Now, Quantum Mechanics also do little statues as well. Now, I don't know if they're producing any more. They haven't come out and said. So it also looks like that we're getting nothing from Quantum Mechanics next year to do with Star Trek. Another thing. So, once again, we've got nothing from the Picard series. Nothing from Lower Decks. Nothing from Season 3 of Discovery. Now, I know that there might be some problems with them releasing stuff beforehand. But at this point, we would have at least heard something about it in terms of if it's coming out or not, and we haven't. So I don't know what is going on. And secondly, I want to say about the Star Trek stuff is, are we being priced out of the market? And the reason I say that is because obviously I've got a Marvel t-shirt on here. Now I can buy a Marvel t-shirt, a Star Wars t-shirt, a Gremlins t-shirt, a Back to the Future t-shirt, an It t-shirt. Now there's 5 shirts I can buy pretty from anywhere, from literally anywhere, any shop, even online, for about £20. Now you can get Star Trek t-shirts, but they are very hard to find, and when you do find them, they're normally really expensive, £30 or £40 for a t-shirt. Now some people might think that's alright, other people will think, why? You know, I can pay for a black Marvel t-shirt about £17, yet if this was a Star Trek one, I'd probably be looking at about £25 to £30. Why? There's no, I don't know why. I keep seeing lots of ads as well for things like leather jackets and stuff like that. Now they do a Star Wars leather jacket That's about $54.99. I've seen it. I've seen one with a Rebel sign and one with First Order as well on it for about £54. Nice leather jacket. They did a Star Trek one, $139.99. Why? It's the exact same jacket, just with a different logo on. Obviously, I know that Star Trek is probably more... that Star Wars is probably more focused on kids and stuff like that. But there just isn't anything for us collectors. In fact, the last Star Trek big collectible I got was actually the 1/6 scale one. I haven't bought any figures for a very long time. Now, is this a problem for the producers of these things like Diamond Select, who just don't seem to put them anywhere? I'm just really, really bummed out that we're going into next year and we're getting really not a lot. I would love to see Star Trek like even uniforms. So even when you go to costume shops or fancy dress shops or things like that, I guarantee you'll be able to find a Ghostbuster outfit, an It outfit, a Star Wars, and I mean any Star Wars character, all the Star Wars characters. Yet you try and find a Star Trek uniform, suit, or a Klingon one, or any of the aliens, and it is so hard, and it's like gold dust when you find them. And not only that, they are really pricey as well. And why? Because they're made from the same material, sometimes less than the Star Wars ones. Yet you can't seem to get them. And I just feel that we're, one, being priced out of the market, Star Trek fans, and two, there just isn't the product out there. So next year, is this a slowdown? Are we gearing up for something really big maybe for 2021? Tell me what you think. I personally feel that, one, we're being priced out, and two, I think toy companies, collectible companies and clothing companies have just don't see any money in Star Trek, which is a real shame considering how big it's come and how big it's got over the last year. I would have thought that they, especially CBS, would be pushing to manufacture and really get out there and do stuff for the brand. But yeah, next year we actually got more products this year than we're getting next year for Star Trek. I also feel as well a little bit like they keep producing old stuff. So we keep getting stuff from the Next Generation, Voyager. There doesn't really seem to be a lot of new stuff. Obviously, there's the model kits. They'll keep producing the model kits. But I'm talking about action figures. I'm talking about collectibles. It just doesn't seem to be very Star Trek orientated. I don't know whether companies and other people are just a bit frightened that no one will buy them. And I think they will, but it just really bums me out that next year we're getting next to nothing, and it's just hard to find stuff as well. Anyway, tell me what you think. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you at the next video.